Hi, this is Valerie Davis, CEO of Assembly North America, coming to you from the Possible event in Miami Beach. I'm joined here with Evan Horowitz, the founder and CEO of Movers+Shakers. They are new to the Stagwell family, and I get the pleasure of talking to them. The second you came into the family, every one of my clients were super excited to meet you and ask for an introduction. So this is a good opportunity for you to introduce Movers+Shakers.
Well, thank you, and a very warm welcome into the
Yes.
Stagwell family. It's great to be here. Movers+Shakers is a socially native creative agency, and our focus and what's made us famous is connecting brands to culture. So driving that cultural relevance, especially with younger audiences, Gen Z, millennials, and now Gen Alpha right around the corner. And so all of our thinking is social first. How do we use the power of social, the emerging platforms like TikTok or Shorts, and the core platforms like Instagram to really create cultural relevance for brands, whether they're the coolest brands out there or big market-leading, uncool brands that need to figure out how to enter the social conversation.
So Evan, tell me a little bit about what you're doing. You've just mentioned all the audiences that you work with and try to reach in a relevant way. We always say at Assembly that speed of culture is super important and cultural relevance is important, particularly when you're trying to reach those audiences.
You know, what we believe is that audiences are telling you what they want to hear from brands if the brands just listen. And most brands don't listen. That's challenging because you have so many internal messages. It's hard to be out with a message that's actually relevant to customers. We created this idea of a cultural relevance pyramid, and as a brand, how do you move up the pyramid to be from a brand that is not relevant to one that is really leading? To explain that, we use a party metaphor. So being a brand in the world is like being a guest showing up to a party. So the question is, what kind of party guest are you? And a lot of brands are at the bottom of the pyramid. They're a brand that's talking to themselves. That's that awkward party guest who's standing on the side of the room because they only want to talk about what they want to talk about and nobody wants to talk to them. But unfortunately, a lot of our clients, admittedly by themselves, are there, right? Where they have so many internal messages, RTBs, et cetera, that when they look at their own content, they're like, yeah, this is us talking to ourselves. So how do you move up from there to be a brand that's welcome at the party? You need to talk like people talk about things that they want to talk about, right? And so being welcome at the party is just about showing up in the way that sounds authentic and native to that channel. So how you show up on TikTok needs to sound different from how you show up on Instagram. And even within Instagram, a feed versus a reel versus a story, those are all different media. So is your brand showing up in ways that are native to that? That's how you become welcome at the party. And up from there, you can move until you're the MC of the party, where you're the brand that's like throwing the big parties that everybody wants to come to.
I love the way you've described that. Can you give me an example? And it doesn't have to be one that you've worked with, but a brand that's doing that well.
So e.l.f. is one of our clients, and we've helped them over the last 5 years move from number 8 to number 1 favorite beauty brand among teens. Now they've held that spot for over 2 years, which is really amazing because they not just started to show up to the party in an authentic way, but they have now become the MC of the party, where when they throw a campaign, even every single TikTok that we post, people are excited to see it because it really is tuned in to what people are talking about, what they care about, their passion points. It's not just the brand talking to itself. And they have a lot of competitors who I think are still talking to themselves. They just passed L'Oreal for number 2 market share. And that's because they really understand how to talk to a consumer in a way that's relevant for their life.
And it's impressive because even in the general media with Jennifer Coolidge, I don't know if you guys use her at all in your TikToks, but even using a woman or an actress that is a bit older than that audience, the fact that they could do it in such a relevant way is impressive. And I do think what e.l.f. is doing is pretty spectacular, a really great example. I know you have a very strong point of view on TikTok and shoppable commerce. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear what the point of view is, and I would also like to understand what you think advertisers should be doing and what is the thought on social commerce in general.
Yeah, I mean, we're really bullish on social commerce, unsurprisingly, I'm sure as you are, because we see it's the intersection of shopping and social it just continues to grow, and the platforms are doing really well in recent years in integrating features that allow a seamless commerce experience. And what we're seeing with the younger audiences is they're very happy to shop on social. It used to be 3 years ago, it was TikTok made me buy it, but then you still had to go to the store to buy it.
Yeah.
Now it's TikTok made me buy it in one click and you checked out, right? And so we're seeing TikTok shops just have explosive growth. And the brands that are early adopters there are doing really well.
Well, I have to tell you a funny story is my daughter says to me, my daughter's 18 years old, and she said, "Mom, I have to show you my haul." And I'm like, what do you mean your haul? I have to show you all the things I bought on TikTok this week, and they all came. And she,
Did
like,
you see it on your credit card first, or
yeah, she doesn't really care about getting approval of those things, that's for sure. But it was very funny because I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, yeah, the TikTok shop. I went and I bought this, that. And they're obsessed with TikTok. Do you think that's sustainable, and do you think TikTok's going to be successful?
I think for the foreseeable future, it's just going to keep growing. And if fast forward a few years, I'm not sure, but what we see is that TikTok's nailed the recommendation algorithm, and that's one thing that I think has separated that platform from all the others and why it's grown so much faster than any other platform. So I'm not surprised that your daughter was able to retrofit her whole car in just a few hours probably, because TikTok gets it and then starts showing you, dashboard accessories and seat accessories, and it's that recommendation algorithm that's so smart. And while at the same time consumers complain about the commercialization of TikTok and they bemoan it and say, it's turning into Instagram, but then they go and they buy all this stuff too, right? So I think consumers are of two minds, and ultimately convenience is going to win out.
In the spirit of social and influencers, what is a brand collaboration that you find really impressive?
Well, I'll highlight some of our own work. I'll go back to e.l.f.
Please.
We keep pioneering there. So a few years ago, we did the e.l.f.'s first brand collaboration, which was between e.l.f. and Chipotle, and that really just broke the internet, which is unexpected, maybe a Mexican restaurant with a cosmetics company. But what we found in our research was that there's actually a lot of overlap between not just fans, but very passionate super fans of both brands. And when this collection came out, it was an eyeshadow palette that looked like the Chipotle food line. So the colors mirrored the black beans, the pinto beans, the lettuce, the guac. Fans went crazy. We got 4 billion earned media impressions. The whole thing sold out in 44 minutes.
That is incredible.
And that just launched a series of opportunities for e.l.f. Now everybody's reaching out to the brand because they want to collab with e.l.f. because they're so cool. So we did a Dunkin' collab, and just a few weeks ago, e.l.f. launched the Liquid Death collaboration, which got, I think, 12 billion earned media impressions.
That's fantastic. Yeah. They're doing something right for sure.
Yeah.
It's 2024. We're into the second quarter. What do you think brands should be thinking about?
Yeah, well, I think 2024 and beyond is exciting because we're really seeing a democratization of creative content. And I think that's scary. It should be scary for a lot of big established brands who are used to, you need to hire many agencies to produce your TV commercial over a 12-month process. And now we live in an era where any teenager with an iPhone can create better performing content than a creative director with a $5 million budget. They can do it faster, obviously way cheaper, and it will perform better. And so I think what brands need to wake up to, for those who are still a bit sleeping in the past, is that it's all about the power of your social creative and how can you create content in totally different ways that are going to perform really well.
So that's what brands should be thinking about and worrying about, I suppose.
Yeah, especially the incumbent brands. I think there's so much momentum, and we see it in our business, right, where it's still a TV first mindset, which is surprising to me. I'm an outsider to the agency world.
Yeah,
so.
Which is what I love having this conversation with an outsider. That's what causes disruption, and I think that's what e.l.f. did so successfully, is cause disruption.
e.l.f. is now backing into TV, but from a social first, cultural first mindset, right?
Yeah, and to be so successful in a category that has so many brands, it's very hard to do. So it is quite impressive. Okay, we're here at Possible. What are you hoping to get out of here? And have you been to any sessions, and have you learned anything new while you've been here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I love the theme of the conference, Possible, and it's about inspiration.
Yeah.
And I do find it very inspiring to be around other bright people who are looking to do things differently. There was a session this morning just talking about how questioning whether the marketing industry has the guts to do the work to transform itself. And I like to think we do, but it's interesting as we grow and we get entrenched with more established players, I worry, and that's, I think, the provocation that I want to give everybody is we need to keep reinventing the way that we do things and questioning basic premises of the way that we do it, moving from that TV first to social first mindset, of course, but even, we look at our business and how's the sausage made, and why do we always have an art director paired with a copywriter, I ask stupid questions like that, but it's, I think it's important that we always look for how we can reinvent to evolve.
I love that. Well, I personally love what Movers+Shakers is doing. I know my clients love what you're doing just by sheer them asking me to make introductions to you. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I hope to continue to work with you and do something great with you.
So excited for our partnership.
All right, amazing. Thank you.